Hello, everybody. Welcome to our 7 speaker series. Today, the topic would be on how to pitch our AI product. And we have Stephania here. And so far we have 6 sessions happen. It's on building, how do we build AI products for societal impact, and from vision to reality about AI products, and even about the building trust, which is really mandate when we are building a product, and about the data governance and responsible AI framework, and then diversity, equity, and inclusion. And last week we had about the practical approaches for solving business problem using AI. And today we have Stephania. She would be talking on how to pitch your AI product. And I would quickly introduce her. And she's a venture manager, Stefanakou, and she's a founder 2 times in the femtech and fashion industry, and has been part of the startup ecosystem for over 8 years. And she's currently serving as a venture manager for Next AI, and which is a world-class founder and venture development acceleration network specializing in AI-enabled startups, and with an impressive career journey that includes roles at TechStarts Toronto and Innovation Boost Zone and Entrepreneur First. And Stephania offers a distinctive and valuable perspective to her role at Next AI. And as a venture manager, she is instrumental in shaping the future of AI startups in Canada, leveraging for extensive experience as a founder and her work in various renowned accelerators and incubators. And beyond her professional accomplishments, Stephania is also dedicated to fostering diversity and inclusion in the startup world. And she actively contributes to this mission as a mentor for female founders at the firm, and where she provides guidance and support to aspiring women entrepreneurs. And today I'm so glad introducing her. And over to Stephania.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the introduction. Let me just share my screen so we can get started right away. Okay, can everybody see my screen okay? Perfect. So nice to meet you. Thank you for the introduction. I actually have on the second slide a little bit about me, but I'm just going to skip that. As Lahari said, my name is Stefania. I'm one of the venture managers here in Toronto for the Next AI program. Again, very quickly, a short description about us. We are an accelerator program specifically for early stage AI ventures. We're also a founder development program. So because we focus on early stage companies, we also want to make sure that we're providing all the resources and support available for the founders to grow and become better entrepreneurs. So today we're going to focus on how to pitch your AI product. That's a little bit different from pitching your AI startup in general. The key differences are I haven't added anything about your bigger vision and aspirations. We're just going to focus on how to pitch your AI product for today. So as I said very quickly, I've been a founder before, so I think what I'm just going to focus on here is if you have any questions regarding on how to pitch, regarding about the startup journey, or understanding the challenges, I'm your person to come talk to if you ever have any questions about that. Specifically, my experience has been in the femtech and fashion tech world. So I understand a little bit more on the side of B2C, consumer packaged goods, and manufacturing. And then the last few years, I've been focusing a lot more on the AI space and how that can contribute and help various industries. So the first thing that I want everyone to focus on, whether you're pitching an AI product or just pitching anything, is to keep it simple. Your pitch should be as is easy and understandable and simple for your grandma to understand what you're pitching, okay? Especially when we're talking about AI. I know this is going to be very difficult, and especially if your background is more technical, engineering. Usually we want to talk about the features, more of the technical terminology. We need to make it as simple as possible. So first of all, know the audience that you're going to have, especially for Friday, for the final ceremony. Know who you're going to be pitching to, who you're going to be talking to, and therefore try and tailor your pitch accordingly. Keep it simple, simple wording. Don't do anything complex on technical terms. Keep the slides as the minimum amount of text as possible. You don't need to like fill it up with like 2-3 different paragraphs. And make it into a compelling story. So obviously what I'm going to be presenting to you today, there's like specific things that you should have in your pitch, but that does not mean that I am advising you to follow it to the T. You can mix things up, you can change the order of things as long as it goes nicely with the structure of your pitch and your story. So what we're going to be going through today, oops, sorry about that. Just fix that. So we're going to be talking today about how to articulate your problem that your AI product solves, the solution, the technology, discussing a little bit about the AI techniques that you've used, the market, how big it is, the demand, your target audience, the business impact. How is what you're creating impacting the business, the users that you're selling this to, your competitive advantage. We're going to have a few examples of how that can look, the risks, which I think is one of the most important things when you're pitching specifically an AI product, and obviously the team. So how to articulate your problem. If any of you has pitched before, this could be, you know, a no-brainer, but I'm just going to assume that nobody has pitched before anything. The most important thing is to understand what are the pain points of the user that you're targeting, right? What are the key frustrations that they're going through right now without your product? So a good thing to remember here is when you're creating those sentences, that value proposition, when you're creating those two sentences and putting them together, try and answer, what is your user currently using? What are their current alternatives? How much money or time are they wasting on that? That will help you put together a nice, very simple sentence, you know? We are Stephania's company. We're going after this target audience that is currently facing this problem by providing them this solution. That could be like a very simple example that you're going after. I actually included an example from one of the companies that we had last year, part of Next AI. And I really liked how they stated the problem. Are you shifting through countless documents? Are you searching across multiple softwares for answers? Are you writing knowledge cards and gathering practical feedback? And you'll see their answer in the next slide. Their answer is Trampoline synchronizes all the information from the apps your business uses. We make all your information easy to find. Now you and your colleagues can always find what matters in less than a second. We liberate at least 3 hours of your employees' time per week and allow them to self-onboard on any projects in no time. So the things that I really want to emphasize on this example is make sure that when you're presenting the solutions, you're talking back to each key pain point you mentioned in the previous slide. Put a big emphasis as to why this current solution is achievable with AI, right? Why is AI such a big, plays such a big role in the solution that you're pitching compared to everything else that's being out there in the market right now? Focus on the benefits instead of the features. Again, usually the people with a technical background have a tendency to talk about the features. Talk about the benefits. It's going to make it a lot easier for an audience that doesn't have a technical background to understand what you're trying to sell, what you're pitching. And another thing that is very important, at least when we are at Next AI evaluating AI companies, we focus on the data collection. Where you mention where are you collecting the data from? How are you training those models? And what are the strategies and processes that you've implemented to make sure that data is unbiased? Now, you can also mention here, it goes a little bit in together with the solution about the technology and the AI techniques that you're using. This is where you come and talk a little bit more, if you do have that technical side, about how you're using the techniques for deep learning, if you're using NLP, and how is it you can discuss how NLP helps you understand user queries and generate responses. You can talk about, if you're using reinforcement learning, how that helps you with your product and how that helps the user. So in this part, especially for a hackathon, I think it's very important for one slide, talk about all the technical stuff. Talk about how your product is so different and what makes it very unique. Then to switch it back against a business, you might not have all these answers per se by Friday, but I think it's very important for you to focus at least on the total addressable market that your product can service. And by total addressable market, if you don't know, I mean, if you go search on, statista.com, usually it gives you the value price, like globally. And that's usually the total addressable market. You can say that the femtech industry is worth 26 billion right now. It's going to be worth 40 billion in the next 5 years. The expected annual growth is like 16%. That just shows that you're going into a hot market. People are going to be expecting products like this. Now, the third and fourth point, the SAM and the SOM, I think it really depends on what the requirements for the hackathon is this Friday. But it's good to know for the SAM, what is your serviceable addressable market? So if you know the number of your global market, how much it's worth globally, how much it's growing. If you're starting off with North America, for example, and with enterprises in the health sector, let's say, then you find how much that market is worth, right? That would be your SAM. And then your SOM, usually you need to do a lot more research because it comes into combination with your target audience, your serviceable, obtainable market. Like, what is a market you're going after in the next 1 or 2 years? What is possible with the resources and the money that you have right now to go and obtain that market? So it could be, for example, from North America, the enterprises in the health sector, you could say that you're starting with enterprises that have over 10,000 employees in Canada, in specific provinces, for example, right? And that would be the obtainable market you have in the next 18 to 24 months. The next thing that you definitely need to mention are your target customers. And I've just put 5 different points here. Obviously, you don't need to mention them all, but it's just a bit of examples of each one, what you could mention, because all your customers, I'm assuming from all the different ideas that you're currently working on, are going to be very, very different. Some good things to talk about is, like, obviously the demographic of your customer. Very important is the psychographic. What are their values, their interests, their lifestyles? That in the end, I believe psychographics and behaviors and motivations are actually more important than demographics. That's just a personal opinion. You can talk about technographics. How do they use the technology, right? Especially for an AI product. How do they learn? Where do they find out about the latest technological trends? What channels do they use? What are the most what are the devices that they use mostly? Is it a tablet? Is it a laptop? Is it on their phone? What platforms? If you're going after, instead of like individuals, if you're going like B2B, what are the firmographics? What's the industry? What's the company size? Are you going after a specific department? Is it just the engineering department, right? Are there specific people from that department that you're targeting? And it's also good to keep in mind, who are the people that are making the decision to buy your product and are actually going to give you the money, but who are the people that are going to be using it? Because sometimes it's different. So there's some, like for engineering departments, sometimes, it's the software engineers that are going to be using your product, but they're not the ones that are going to be making the decision, that are going to be paying you. It's whoever's above them, their director. So that's also something to keep in mind if you're in that type of, if you have that type of target audience and you're in that market, to mention both the decision maker and also the people that will be using it. And lastly, the behaviors and the motivations of your target audience. What motivates them to use it, to buy it? What compels them to buy a product like yours? Like what is their current routine, and what would make them break that routine for you to introduce your product? Like, how can you get into that, right? Also, I'm going a little bit fast so I can let for everyone ask me a bunch of questions towards the end of the presentation. Now, something very, very important to keep in mind, and I see a lot of companies, a lot of startups do this with an AI product. They don't really mention the business impact. They get so excited to talk about, AI, that they're using the technology. It's so amazing. But then they forget about the user, the target audience, and their goals. Okay. So you need to present this in a way of how this is going to impact your user. Okay. Or the organization that you're targeting. What is the ROI that they're going to get by using your product? You need to create a business case for them. You need to understand what their priorities are. And the best way to do that, obviously, with like interviews, if you just do some Google research, you need to understand and put in very plain terms how your product is going to help them achieve either their strategic KPIs or their measurable success metrics. It doesn't always have to be numbers that you're helping them. It could be something more like overall long-term vision goals that they have as a company that your AI product is helping them with. So I just put a very, very simple example for this. Stephania's AI solution services 500 patients per month for only $1,000. The comparable cost for a traditional solution would cost a general practitioner's clinic $5,000 monthly for 200 patients. The outcome, $2 per patient monthly versus $25 per patient monthly. Very simple, to the point. Obviously, you guys are going to have like much better ideas pitching at the hackathon, not this. But just to give you understanding of how to present that for the hackathon, and also to your potential users, of how you can create more, how you can bring more benefits and return of investment towards them by using you. How do you make that comparison, the comparison a lot more visible for them? Some other examples that you can use, obviously, you can talk about the cost savings, as I just mentioned with the example. Are you reducing their operational costs through your AI product with the automation, with efficiency? Are you helping them grow their revenue a lot faster? Are you, if you're targeting, companies in the supply chain or retail or e-commerce, are you improving their sales conversions? Are you expanding their market reach? Are you assisting, improving their customer experience by improving the customer satisfaction? Therefore they have, again, that results into higher revenue, faster response times. How do you help them with all those, with their KPIs, with their metrics? And lastly, the business impact that you present can actually help with a competitive differentiation. They obviously, your customer, if you're going B2B, for example, they have competitors. Are you helping them with your AI product for them to stand out in the market and to beat their competitors? Are you helping them differentiate? So now I wanted to continue. We talked about the competitive differentiation, how you're helping them stand out in the market. But now what I want you guys to focus on is a slide about how your product differentiates from the rest of the competitive landscape out there. What I would like to see in a pitch deck for an AI product is that you've done your homework. Usually, if someone says you have no competitors, that's a red flag. There's no way in 2023, where everyone has access to creating an AI product, that you have no competitors. You need to do your homework, and it is completely fine if you see that there's 20 other companies doing something similar to you. That just proves that, you know, there is a market out there, there's a demand, right? But now you have to focus, okay, like these are the competitors, this is who is out there, but this is our competitive advantage. This is how we do customer satisfaction better, by showing, you know, the competitor A, competitor B, and then your product, how much better it does that by a percentage. Now, this might be a little bit too advanced for what you have for the hackathon, but just to give you an overall understanding of how this could look. Another example you could do is from a technical perspective. Okay, so if you want to really focus on your product and how that is so different from what exists already in the market, you can talk about how your algorithm is better than what exists out there, and its values and its dollar value. It could be your computer vision algorithm, your NLP algorithm, whatever you have, but you can take a technical perspective to it as well. It really depends on the market that you have and the product that you've created. Some other examples that you can talk about when it comes to your competitive advantage is the AI techniques that you've used. Are they proprietary AI techniques because of the team that you have and the experience that they have? The industry data, are you collecting hard to get industry data? That is a huge competitive advantage to have, because that's what just makes your AI model in the end better. It all comes down to the data. Are there strategic partnerships that you have in place? Usually, if you're in the healthcare sector, it is very, very hard to get a partnership. So if you do manage to get one, that puts you ahead of the game compared to all the other competitors that you have. And that's a competitive advantage that you have. Are the strategies that you have, your go-to-market strategies, different from all your competitors? That's also a competitive advantage. And usually you can combine that with your team's business background. Like if you've created other companies, or if you've worked, you know, in bigger companies in the business investment department, marketing department, that usually gives you extra points on the competitive advantage. And lastly, your experienced team. Is that your competitive advantage? Is it that in combination, the entire team has over 50 years worth of experience in this specific industry that you're going after? Because that also gives you points, you know, that there's only a few people in the world that could build this, and in combination, you're like the maybe the only team that can build this product. One of the last things that I want to talk about, and this is actually one of the biggest things for an AI product. You don't usually see this mentioned in other pitches when AI is not part of the equation. It's risk mitigation. Okay. As far as AI has come in the last year or two, people are still scared of it. So obviously, depending on who you're pitching this to, let's say if you're going after investors, right? Like you've created your product, you know you want to create this into a big business, and you've decided to go down the fundraising path. There are specific things that they're going to be asking for to mitigate risks and for their investment too, right? So first of all, obviously identify the risks. I have some examples in the next slide, and how they're going to impact your business. Have some methods and processes ready, like have a slide with just like maybe a few bullet points of like the strategies that you're going to put in place to mitigate risk. You know, how are you going to be testing, monitoring, controlling everything? And therefore, you're going to be able to discuss a little bit more about responsible AI and AI for good. That's a big thing for my company, Next AI. When we're reviewing applications and we're interviewing companies, ethical AI development is a huge thing. And to make sure that the AI that you're creating is for good. So try and talk 1 or 2 slides in your pitch. Maybe 2 might be too much for now. 1 slide on the risks that you might face with the product that you're creating, the methods and the strategies that you'll put in place to control it, and how that will result in ensuring fairness, transparency, and accountability. Some of those risks could be legal risks, there could be legal issues or new regulations or laws. We know that's happening right now with AI. There's a lot of new regulations and laws being put into place, specifically in Canada. Depending on which market you're going after. If you're going after the US, their regulations could look very different compared to Canada's, right? So acknowledge those, have those in the list. You could also have risks and biases in your data that you're using, as I mentioned before. Mention where you're collecting your data. How are you ensuring that it's unbiased, that your AI models are being trained and developed ethically? How are you testing to make sure that you are avoiding bias? And then lastly, it's security risks, right? Are you implementing any practices for cybersecurity? Are you implementing any strategies for data privacy? If you're in the fintech or again, healthcare industry, you're going to have to put in place strategies for your data privacy of the users. You might need to mention data storage policies and procedures. So since you're still very, very early in the journey, just acknowledging and mentioning them in a list, the different risks that you might encounter is very, very important. And it just gives you, it shows that you care and that you're taking into consideration every single aspect of creating a product, not just creating it, the code, the part, the technical, but every single aspect when it comes to putting together an AI product. And the last thing, and the most important thing for an early stage company, is your team. I would put a good 30 seconds when you're pitching, depending on your time. I'm not sure if you have 3, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, but a good 30 seconds on the team is always very important for an early stage venture, because you need to make us understand why you're the right team to build this product. And then eventually, if I hear back from you, like in 6 months, the question you're going to have to answer is, why are you the right team to win in this industry? There's a lot of people out there that might have the same background and the same experience as you. Why are you the right ones to build this product and win? So in the team slide, really talk about the education that you've had, your work background, your experience, and any specific skills that have helped you build this product. And it helps make it unique, right? And that could be from a business perspective or a technical perspective. And by combining that, if you're a team of 2, 3, or 4, by combining that, this is why you are able to create this product, and you're able to eventually create this business and win in the industry. So let me just check time. Okay, 12:30. We have 13 minutes. I'm going to open it up to any questions you might have for me, and hopefully I can answer.
Yeah, thank you, Stefania. Thank you so much. This is really a very insightful information for everyone. So we will take up the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So we can, you can post your questions in the chat, or else we will give access to unmute yourself and you can ask. Yeah. So you all got access to unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm just checking oh, sorry, someone was going to talk. Yes.
Hi, Hannah. Thank you very much. May I ask my question?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Stefania. That was a very, very interesting presentation, especially for us. We're a team, we're all students. So we rarely get to see actually this part of, business and actually get that side of technology or AI. But my question is you mentioned that we should, the last part of your presentation was about how we are the unique, or we are the team suitable to build this product. While not necessarily. I mean, we are all, young women. We are all students with our own faults and flaws, with our, and not very much years of experience. Like we know that we're not the best team to build this product out there, but we are doing our best, and we are enthusiastic, and we are, so isn't that not enough that we came up with the idea and we are enthusiastic? But maybe we are going to have a lot of, trials and errors in the path, because we do not have that much experience. We're very young.
Yes. Well, I'm going to start off. There is an answer for the student ones of part of this hackathon. First of all, I'm going to say, you might be the right team for this, right? It all comes down to the answer, and I'm going to say the confidence that you present in your answer. So definitely show your confidence that you guys are the right team. First of all, that's number one. The second thing is, you might not have the work experience, like 10 years working for OpenAI, for example, right? But it's, what you could mention is any volunteering that you've done in the past that might connect with this product. Like, how did you guys come up with this product that you're presenting for the hackathon? What was your experience before in your life that made you think, okay, we need to create a solution for this area? Was it from volunteering? Was it from personal experience? Is it from joining any student clubs, for example? And it might be a strong answer to say, maybe individually as a student team, you have the same background as other people, but in combination, all 3, 4 of you together, that doesn't exist. So that could be your superpower, right? By the 3 or 4 of you coming together and creating this product. Does that help?
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
There was one specific, sorry. There was one specific question. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
There's just one specific one on the chat that I wanted to see. If for the hackathon you're required to provide a cost.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that one, like from a hackathon perspective, and then I'll leave it to you, Stephania. So, as Stephania mentioned, normally in an AI pitch product, in a product pitch, you would want to show that this is the impact that this product is going to create for the end user, and you show that through an ROI perspective. And we do hope to see that in this hackathon as well as one of the, let's say, criteria of judging. So if like Stephanie has shared so many different pointers on addressing the market and then sizing your business and all of that, and then talking about what is that impact that you're creating. It need not be just a cost. It can be like a efficiency perspective, or saving time perspective, or improving life of others. In, let's say, like if you're talking about sustainability, or let's say like diversity or anything like that, from that percentage you can say it improves by this much percentage. It can be any different way that you can mention that, but then that if you add that just gives you additional validity on that it's like a real product that can be implemented and have that impact to the society. So I'll leave it to you, Stephanie, too.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And the value, because I'm seeing now the latest question too, the value doesn't always have to be in the cost, in the money, right? That's why I just put back on the slide, like there's different ways to show the impact and the value that you're bringing to your customer. It could be by saving them money, saving them time. There's companies, there's some startups that are actually in targeting HR departments, right? There's a huge thing right now with culture and work environment and improving that. There are some AI startups out there that are helping companies reach those goals. Now, that doesn't mean that the goals is like, comes down to cost by showing them the value. It could be by showing them that with their AI product, they can engage their employees more, right? If engagement goes from 10% to 35%, that's a win. That's the value that you're bringing. So it really depends on the product that you guys are creating. I think maybe this question could better be answered 101, but that's why I just kind of put a few different variations of how you could create the value. And I hope that helps everyone, like it answers a little bit your question.
Yeah. Thanks, Stefania, for that. And we have one more question in the chat. So it's from Maria. Thanks for the great presentation. And I have a question about Next AI. When you said early stages companies, are you expecting an MVP, or what's the maturity level the incubator expects for the product?
Absolutely, great question. So by early stage, we mean between the validation and discovery stage. So that means you have validated the idea. You've, have like proven that this is something needed in the market. And during our program, during Next AI, you're going to work on your MVP, or you have an MVP, and during the program, you're going to work on getting your first few customers. So those are the different type of startups that we have. Sometimes we accept companies still in the idea stage. So that means they haven't proven it yet, but they have a ambitious and enticing idea. And we believe in the team. They have a background, a track record to make us believe that they can execute what they're saying.
Stephanie, would you like to share some more information about if they're interested in in the accelerator itself, like how to reach out to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll just go straight to the last slide here. So obviously, if you find me on LinkedIn, you can add me on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me. Here's my email if you have any questions for Next AI. We currently have applications open for our next cohort. Our next cohort starts March 11th, 2024. It's 6 months, so it ends on end of August next year. Applications close this coming Sunday, December 10th. As I mentioned, early stage companies, industry agnostic, as long as your product is AI enabled. If you have any questions about the application, which you can find here on the website that I've posted, please feel free to email me, ask any questions. We have info sessions still happening until Friday. So if you want to hop on a call for 15 minutes, I can assist there too. Yeah, and sorry, I'm just checking the chat as well. I know we have 3 minutes left, so I'll answer that one very quickly. Definitely, depending on the hackathon and what the requirements are for Friday, have a call to action in the end. If it is that you're seeking money, it's always good to say how much money you anticipate needing. Let's say you have to make an Excel sheet, see what are the resources that you need. Is it like hiring extra people or getting specific softwares and stuff like that? Try and calculate how much money you need. And therefore, in the end, have a call to action being like, we're seeking 100K. You can say whether you want that to be a dilutive or non-dilutive format. If you're seeking for government support, you can say like non-dilutive. If anyone is in the audience has access or can help with writing grants or accessing any government support, this is the amount that you're going after. So if you can find like 10 different grants that can assist you get 100K, that would be great. And I hope that answered your question. Maybe we can go more in depth to that if you want to email me.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. I hope it answered the question. And we have one question from Nahid. Thank you so much, Stefania. I want to know how much or how we can estimate the value of the product.
Okay, we'll go back to that one. For the value of the product, you need to see what the current solutions are in the market that you're going after. So let's say, for example, you've created an AI sales product, right? you need to understand the market and the customers that you're going after. What are the solutions that they're offering to your customer, right? You need to understand that the value is not always money. It's not always like, you know, estimating how much money you're saving them. It could be time that you're saving them. It could be that you're generating more revenue for them, right? So you need to see what are the current alternatives. What is your customer currently using? It could be that they're not using any products, right? That they're doing things manually. So I'll go back to this example here, you know, with my AI solution for the health sector, right? I'm servicing 500 patients per month for only $1,000. The comparable cost for a traditional solution would be that it costs my user $5,000 to service 200 patients. And then I'm just doing the comparison. $2 per patient, it costs them versus $25 per patient. No worries. And I'll take it back to the last slide so you guys can reach out if you need anything.
Yeah. Thank you. And I hope we have all the questions covered. Yeah, and thank you, Stefania, for the insightful presentation. And I would like to quickly address key takeaways and like the theme, like what you have shared, that resonates deeply with our hackathon goals as well. And you have emphasized the importance of clearly defining the problem, your AI solution that's need to be addressed, and articulating its market potential as well. And and even the discussion on like leveraging advanced AI techniques and understanding target audiences of a strategic roadmap for our participants as well. And like we are so glad to have you, and thank you so much, and thank you for the engaging participation as well from the participants.
Thank you, everyone. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.